Hi guys, welcome to another record of the week. This week again I've picked 3 different pieces of music. All of these pieces of music are linked below in the description box and they're all on YouTube. The first piece of music is by Esperanza Spalding and it's called Lestweforget. This is an amazing song that has this incredible, what I think is incredible, production. I like the production because I don't normally like modern production. And from what I hear from most modern music, its production seems to be kind of compressed and the song doesn't really seem to consist of much. Whereas this has this amazing modern production and it's absolutely, it complements the song, it complements the atmosphere, it complements the brilliant lyrics, brilliant vocal delivery, and this is where modern production for me works extremely well, but it might be because the song is extremely good. I listened to this song a couple of years ago actually, and I hadn't listened to it for a while. So when I listened to this again this week, it really sort of put my faith back into modern music production and what can be done and achieved with modern production. But what's amazing about this is that this song was released about 3 years ago and it only has 280,000 and a bit views, which is quite surprising because this is just such a great song, such a great video, such a great lyric, such a great delivery and performance, you know, and 280 something thousand views, that's crazy. But having said that, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe some songs or pieces of music that are really, really good are best kept sort of behind the scenes, as it were, because maybe that way they always embody their power. So every time you come back to them, they're magical, as opposed to hearing something that's over commercialized and the inspiration or the magic that it contains sort of gets lost, or the atmosphere that it contains. Okay, now to my next record of the week, and this is Plectrum by John McLaughlin. It's the Danny Thompson trio from 1967, live from the radio. Although this is an amazing performance, it's nothing sort of groundbreaking, but it's interesting because it's Plectrum, or the composition Spectrum, that went on another album a bit later. And it's interesting to hear this sort of jazzy version of it and hear John's compositional ability, which is really good, you know, even in 1967. But what I really like about this more than anything is hearing it, and it takes me back to when I was a kid and I would listen to like the radio at night time. There was John Peel and a few things like that, but generally you couldn't listen to sort of music that wasn't in the charts unless it was on at late at night, or otherwise you use Radio Luxembourg and you sort of have to tune in like this to hear this amazing music come out of the speakers. And it took me back to that. It took me back to the magic of when you're very young and you just hear music come out of radio. It's an incredible thing, and that's what this reminded me of. It took me back to that, and I just wondered what it must have been like back then, just sitting down and hearing that coming through the radio and hearing John play these lovely mercurial guitar lines. It must have been wonderful. And there's some magic in that. It's a bit like when you put a record on, you hear before the actual music starts, you know, just the static. There's something wonderful about that, and then music comes out of it. It's like all the dust and all the air coming through the speakers or in the atmosphere, you know, it's incredible. It's like it's sort of resonating, you know, within the air. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And listening to that, that's what it reminded me of, being a kid listening to Radio Luxembourg and just kind of embodying the magic of music in a very deep way, you know, and just being in love with music, you know, just like, oh, wow. But that's what this Plectrum reminded me of. And yeah, it's been great. It makes me feel happy. So you can't argue with that. The last record of the week is by Takashi Yoshimatsu. And this is a piano concerto. This is set in 3 movements and it's based upon flowers. So as you can tell, it will have that lovely Japanese way with nature, or that intrinsic way with nature that the Japanese have, and a sort of Zen-like quality that's sort of inflected within it. And it works as the piano is like the melody, with like the orchestration being the flower bed, or the score being the flower bed. So it's called Memo Flora, as a memorandum on flowers. And this is absolutely beautiful. It's extremely easy listening to some degree. It's one of those concertos that you can just play. You don't have to intellectually think when you're listening to it. It's just beautiful music with beautiful piano lines. This piece of music I've still got to delve into a lot deeper, but the listen that I've had, which is just only once through, is, you know, just wonderful. There's lots of brilliant orchestration, if you like orchestration, and the way that the instruments and the timbres work. There's lots of ideas in there that are really worth investigating. And I found that really, really useful. Although I've got to go deeper, like I say, into this, because there'll be some ideas from there that I can use or take and use, you know. And I love Japanese jazz as well, like from the 70s and the 80s, because it always has that, doesn't matter what's happening, it always still has that way with nature, that almost Zen-like quality to it. And it's, however, wherever it goes, you always feel peaceful at the same time. You don't feel kind of drawn and thrown about. You just sort of feel peaceful whilst listening to it. And that's how I feel with this concerto. It's absolutely beautiful piece of music. So that's my third record of the week. Anyway, if this video was of any use to you, then please smash the subscribe button, because that really does keep the channel going. Click the like button, because that really helps with the algorithm. Click the notification button if you like the video, and write a comment if you want. And I'll see you all in the next video. And thank you for watching.